All right, welcome everyone to Riddle Elementary School. We've done the Pledge of Allegiance and taken the roll. All the board members who answered the roll are present. Just a quick reminder for those of you who have cell phones, please either turn them off or silence them. And also a note, there is a portion on the agenda, it's 2.2 for members of the public to address the board. There are slips, should have been relocated. Right. Ms. Poland has them. I've had 3 slips turned in. So if you want to address the board, if you would grab one of those slips and just turn it up here while we're working our way through the first part of the agenda. Thank you. With that, we will go to item 2 on the agenda, reception of visitors, item 2.1A, Mattoon Middle School, FFA, and AD.
All right, this is a tough act to follow, getting moved over here, all because of us. Thanks, guys. So I would like to introduce some of my finest middle school FFA members. In fact, they're the first middle school FFA members that Mattoon has ever had.
Hi, my name is Sylvia Inyer, and I am FFA Secretary. This evening, I will be speaking to you for a brief moment on the role FFA played in the homecoming parade. Last year, we decided we wanted to hand out plants in the parade. Now that we knew we wanted to do this, we started planting succulents. The succulent we planted is called a mother of thousands. These plants grow extra fast, and we were able to give out 450 plants to the community. We've heard a lot of good things about this, and hopefully it can be done again next year. Last year, we attended an Ag Leadership Conference in Springfield, where many different middle schools around the Illinois area came. We went to this conference to grow our leadership in FFA and in our Ag classes.
Hi, I'm Tessa Cook, and I'm going to be speaking about Hi, my name is Addison Perkins, and I'm going to tell you about the field trip that MSFFA took to the Okaw Valley Apple Orchard this fall. On our trip, we learned how bees help to pollinate apple trees. They also showed us how to graft apple trees and explained why this produces a better tree in the orchard. Later this spring, if transportation allows, we are hopefully going to help plant 500 trees at the orchard. Hi, I'm Tessa Cook, and I'm going to be speaking about the trip we took our FFA on to Lakeland. We got to see their greenhouse, do a soil sample lab, see their career program, their John Deere Tech program. This trip also included the opportunity to sit in the tractors and play farming simulator.
Good evening, my name is Braylon Harrington, and tonight I will be talking to you about the chickens that we hatch each year for a brief moment. Okay, twice a year we incubate chicken eggs. We candle them and watch as they hatch. The first 6 weeks after the chicks hatch, we weigh and measure them to make sure that they are healthy. We keep them in a happy environment out in the greenhouse where it's nice and warm for them to grow. After they are old enough, we give the chickens back to the Kaufman Farms so that their farms can keep growing. Thank you.
This year, something completely new that I bet the middle school has never had before, turkeys at Thanksgiving. And so we have a family, Junie and Rosemary Cook. Their project for FFA was turkeys. And so they brought a male and a female in on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving break. And we made sure that these were not being served for any kind of dinner. But as you can see, having the kids and the staff and Mrs. Stewart up there. They loved being able to see real live turkeys here in the courtyard. And you can see there's a couple turkeys that were trying to get in the media center. And yeah, I guess they like to read.
Hi, my name is Callan Ballinger, and tonight I'm going to talk about livestock judging. Judging the specific traits of an animal to determine which is the best given class. You will need to judge the size, muscle, cut, build, and shape of the given animal to place it in its class. To show the judge, you will need to analyze bad characteristics and good characteristics. This March, MMS FFA is going to Lakeland College for livestock judging.
So I want to thank the board and the community for the support of the FFA for middle school. This has lit a fire in these guys and the 30 other people back there, as well as all of the agriculture classes. This is something they did not get to do before. It was just dabbled in. And these guys have a desire to do way more than we have ever had before. Livestock judging? This is my 35th year teaching and I'm learning livestock judging. But these guys are teaching me. We also have a partnership with Lyft. We've got a student coming over from the Lyft building that is helping with this, because Lord knows this lady ain't gonna be able to do it. So our student from the Lyft building is coming over. These guys practice. We have 3 teams of 4, so we have 12 people going to Lakeland's livestock judging on March 22nd. A huge feat for a middle school. Only about 6% of the schools in Illinois actually have a middle school ag program. Kudos to that too. I know it's a lot of work, I know it's a lot of money, but hey, these are lifelong traits these guys are going to carry with them, and you're not going to be able to put a price tag on that. Next week is FFA week. These guys learned a little bit about propagation, and so while this probably isn't the prettiest plant, it was done completely by middle schoolers. And so they learned about propagation. They took a couple mother plants and they made over 100 that they have planted, they've been taking care of, and they're giving them out to every single staff member at the middle school next week.
Okay, in the springtime, we cleaned up the 7th grade courtyard. We built 2 raised beds and planted berries in them. And then after that, we took out all the rock border and removed the old mulch. We weeded and then put 2 layers of cardboard to help out with the future weeds and prevent them from growing. We then laid down 40 bags of mulch to help clean up the courtyard and make it look good. We made sure that everything in the courtyard is super healthy for the turtles that are living in this environment. This spring, we will be doing the other areas along the walls the same way.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about the pig ear notching we did with our 8th grade ag. We learned what the farmers did to identify their pigs, and we practiced on foam ears and put our birth month and our birth date on those ears. Everyone had a great time wearing their pig ears around school all day. Now I'm going to talk about our yearly FFA plant sale. Last year we made around $750 from this plant sale, selling things like geraniums, tomatoes, sweet peppers, and wavy petunias. This year, from Monday, April 28th to Friday, May 2nd, we hope to sell these and many other varieties of flowers, as well as hanging fern baskets and succulents. Our sale hours are 3:30 to 5 p.m. We hope to see you there.
Any questions?
You said you have turtles living in the
So
courtyard?
years ago, Clyde Self was a science teacher and he brought turtles in there. But on a field trip for student council many years ago, we also brought back baby turtles. So in any case, but nobody knew about that, so don't tell anyone. And so these turtles were numbered. And so every year we see like the remnants of a number. We've gotten a lot of new turtles. And so what we did when we redid the courtyard was we made sure that everything was turtle friendly. And so the turtles have lived out there for a long time, so don't blame me.
Do you know how many?
At one time we had like 13, but with all the stuff going on back there, we don't have an accurate count. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Do any of you
I am. Yeah, we have cattle.
We have a bee farm at our house. We raise bees. Yeah.
I have goats, chickens, rabbits, and had ducks.
I think it's amazing.
I used to raise chickens.
Amazing that you guys are doing this, and there's gonna be so much future for people who want to use food, healthy, good food, so.
Food, fiber, and fuel, that's my whole class.
Better be, yes, better believe that, right?
I just want to say thank you. I know it's really hard to come and present to us, and you're young, and you can see your passion. And so thank you for coming, and look forward to an update after the spring, and what all you get done.
Okay, next item, agenda 2.1B, Mattoon Middle School Read Across America Mattoon Book Presentation from the Mattoon Middle School Student Reading Committee.
Hi, I'm Ellie Sisna, and I'm an 8th grader in Mattoon Middle School. Read Across Mattoon is a community-driven initiative dedicated to promoting literacy and fostering a love for reading. For over 20 years, we have worked tirelessly to enhance reading skills and encourage lifelong learning among children and adults in the Mattoon area. Through a variety of programs, events, and partnerships with local organizations, we have created opportunities for individuals of all ages to improve their literacy. Our commitment to education and community engagement has made a lasting impact on the lives of many, helping to build a brighter future for the next generation.
Hi, my name is Rachel Catt, and I'm an 8th grader also. Our Read Across Mattoon book was Charlie Thorne and the Last Equation by Stuart Gibbs. It follows the story of a brilliant 12-year-old girl, Charlie Thorne, who is recruited by the CIA to find Albert Einstein's missing equation. The equation, which could change the course of history, is hidden in a series of cryptic clues scattered around the world. As Charlie races against time, she faces dangerous adversaries and uncovers secrets that challenge her intellect and courage. This fast-paced adventure combines mystery, science, and intrigue, with Charlie using her quick thinking and resourcefulness to navigate the high-stakes mission.
Hi, I'm Emily Catt. I'm a 6th grader. As Rachel said, the Charlie Thorne series by Stuart Gibbs follows the adventures of 12-year-old genius Charlie Thorne as she embarks on global quests to uncover and protect hidden secrets from history's greatest minds. In Charlie Thorne and the Last Equation, she deciphers a dangerous equation concealed by Albert Einstein. In Charlie Thorne and the Lost City, she searches for Charlie Darwin's hidden treasure. In Charlie Thorne and the Curse of Cleopatra, she unravels mysteries surrounding Cleopatra's power. In the 4th installment, Charlie Thorne and the Royal Society was published in 2024. As of now, there are no official information regarding additional books in the series.
Hi, my name is Addison Perkins. I'm a 7th grader.
In Mattoon, you can pick up books for free at 2 convenient locations, Mattoon Middle School and Mattoon Public Library. These community resources provide access to a wide range of books for all ages, helping foster a love for reading and learning. Whether you're a student looking for books for school or a family searching for new stories, both locations offer a variety of titles to explore. Take advantage of these free resources and encourage reading as an enjoyable and valuable part of your everyday life. Are there any other questions? There will be extra copies on the back table.
Thank you.
Thank you again for those student presentations. Let's move on to 2.2 on the agenda. That's the non-agenda portion. I have 3 slips from speakers, calling them alphabetically. The first one is Kaylee Adams.
Fabulous. All right, hello. My name is Kaylee Adams. I'm here for my son Jonathan Austin and all children and parents who are in this position. In the November meeting, Christy Hild was asked about low graduation rates. She ended her response stating that it's our collective responsibility to make sure every student crosses the stage. I'm here to tell you tonight, my son is not going to be crossing that stage. As a matter of fact, at that November meeting, Jonathan's already been reporting bullying for at least 2 months. We sat here and listened to how important test scores were and how we can look better on the Illinois report card next year. None of that matters when you have students who do not feel safe, who do not feel secure, and who do not feel heard. My son was failed by this administration. On the Illinois Board of Education site, there's a full bully policy. These are just some of the ways that we were failed in that. Number 1, complete the investigation within 10 school days, taking into consideration new information that happened within those days. My son reported for 5 months, and yet the student didn't receive any AER or punishment beyond a talking to. Number 2, involve appropriate school support personnel. The principal, to my knowledge, was never notified or ever reached out if he was, nor was my son counseled in any way. Number 3, notifying parents of the students involved to discuss the investigation. I was not notified when my son took a screenshot and a teacher witness to the office to make a report. Luckily, my son's open with me on these issues. I was never further updated on the issues unless I reached out and asked what was being done. And to my knowledge, the parents of the other student were not notified until it was escalated to a no-contact order 5 months later. Again, the student never received discipline for his actions. The dean once actually told my son that he had bigger issues to deal with and would get to it soon, in which nothing was done until my son made later complaints. Jonathan's been praised continuously and that he was the one who had to speak up and consistently reach out and continue with the follow-ups because the dean failed to do so. There's no question in my mind the reason that this went on for 5 months. There were 0 consequences, and now it's too late. We're the ones who suffer. We're the ones who do not get to see our children stress over prom and get those photos that we laugh at later. We do not get to watch them make editor-in-chief that they already worked 3 years to make. We do not get to watch them walk the stage with the peers that did support them. We get doctor's appointments for anxiety. We get new medications. We get the counseling appointments. We get to watch them have panic and anxiety attacks. Yet they have to be the ones to find an endless amount of strength to just keep going. It's truly an unfair position. I hope one day the group that created this for him will understand what their actions cause and won't find it so funny anymore. But today, I hope the administration opens their eyes and sees the truth in what is happening in their hallways and classrooms and take action, because it's not only the students that are the bullies. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Jonathan, part of Bionic, was he ever allowed or introduced to me with any of the interns who provide counseling in school?
Okay, next up, Jonathan Austin. Sorry.
You're good.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Austin, and as of last week, I had to withdraw from Matching High School due to the actions of 4 students within the school. For the past 12 years, I've dealt with constant bullying. This past semester, my junior year, I dealt with constant hatred from students I used to call friends. Posts on social media went around, and one student in particular made sure to drag my name through the mud. These actions continued for weeks before I made the official decision to report it to the administration, specifically the dean. Once the main student figured out I was going to take the evidence of the social media posts to the office, he found me after school in a classroom during one of my club meetings. He continued to scream in my face as I sat in silence. Thank you to Laura Roberts for being quick to resolve the issue, because who knows what could have happened if she wasn't there. Directly after the club meeting, I went to the dean with Ms. Roberts, showing direct screenshots of the post the student made and explaining the altercation that had happened less than an hour ago. Also explaining everything that had been going on to begin with. Asking for help. The dean promised me that he would speak to the student and reach out to follow up, and that if anything else happens, to bring it to him directly. Days went by with no response. I eventually reached back out to set up another meeting. I sat in the dean's office showing more posts the student made, asking if anything had been addressed. The dean told me he hadn't had the chance to speak to the student yet and would the next day. That was all. Now a month of suffering just for the student to be told, stop. Well, after the dean finally reached out to the student and told the student to stop, he retaliated, now bringing more friends to battle his fight. Yet again, I went to the dean's office with more evidence, and showing that now multiple people had joined in. The dean essentially told me that there were bigger things that they had to deal with, and that he hoped my issue would resolve over winter break. Winter break ends, and by the time I got back to school, it was just petty comments in person, things I shouldn't have to deal with, but did. Then another post was made on social media, and that was my breaking point. 5 months of not just social media posts, but being broken down in person and through text messages was enough for me to realize the district does not care about students the way they advocate they do. Otherwise, something would have been done. So, Monday, January 3rd, the Matching Community Unit School District Number 2 lost yet another student to online school because of bullying. So the question I want each and every board member to think about is how many students withdrawing to go online is it going to take for them to realize there's a bigger problem that needs to be addressed? The bullying policy I have been promised all my years in the district is that there is no tolerance for it. Yet, when I bring these issues up, they get dismissed. I give up my opportunity to walk the stage, my position as junior editor-in-chief, and next year what would have been editor-in-chief of the MHS yearbook, just because the administration failed to care about me as a student. I stand up here today praying that this district will begin to realize that there is a problem and that you can't keep turning a blind eye to the people who are crying for help. Thank you for your time.
What is our policy, especially, I would say, probably at our school level and even middle school, on cyberbullying with students? I mean, what do we do?
Yeah. My question is for primarily the high school, but I'm sure probably some of the middle school too. What do we do about cyberbullying? What is our policy? What are the procedures? If it's going for 5 months with no response, that's a long time. So I guess I'm just curious.
Sure. If there's an issue of bullying, or if anything of cyber bullying that's done outside school, not on school district property, but if it's a disruption to the school environment, if it's reported to the administration does their due diligence to look to investigate not only the complaint, but also the complainants and then the people that the complaint was filed against. They do the best they can to investigate that and address the matter, communicate with the students, communicate with the parents. And that's the process that we follow throughout the district. If there's an issue of complaint or bullying in the district of any nature, be it cyberbullying, be it sexting, be it bullying that's going on in the classroom or in the school, if it's reported, it's addressed, it's documented, and it's documented when they address with the parents, with the administration, with the students, if there's processes in place, if they're referred to counseling, social workers, psychologists, which we have in the district as well, and outside agencies if they're needed as well to network with them, so that we do a kind of a wraparound service. We also have interns and grad assistants that work with them through Eastern Illinois University as well to address the matters that they're reported, and again, try to work with the parents, the student, and all parties involved in this issue. So again, if that's occurring, if that's addressed to report to the administration, that's the process that's utilized, the documentation that occurs, that we have to denote the process that we're following.
So,
But I do have to tell you, as a district, in the Open Meetings Act, you cannot discuss student issues in public session. So understand that there's legalities involved with that. So you need to I'm just talking to the board, anybody can address the board how they choose, but specific student matters need to be discussed in executive session.
So I have a couple questions. So can a parent get the report from the documentation of what's been?
Sure, they can communicate with the administrator.
And then can you try to reach out to parents? So like parents.
That's
could
my
be-
belief, yeah, that's what is supposed to occur.
And I understand we have a variety of administrators in the middle school and high school that frankly, I'm very disappointed that our high school principal wouldn't be involved, and maybe this is a different policy, with someone who was rough. And then coupled with that for this situation, is that not policy?
Well, I think any issue that's brought to administrator of any building, be it the high school, middle school, Franklin Elementary, lift, it's addressed, and if there's something that's going on that administrator, they're questioning if it's addressed or not, then you would contact your liaison, which would be the superintendent, to make sure that's being addressed with the building level principal as a board member. But again, that communication is supposed to occur, that's a process that's supposed to occur, it's communicating with parents. Those things are happening,
I'm sorry,
and that's
I didn't-
documented.
I didn't say that, I'm sorry. So does the building principal, whether it's middle school or high school, have a role when a student withdraws from their building?
They're aware, they should be aware of that process through their guidance, student services team, their deans, their assistant principals, if that's happening, working with them, yes.
Because to me, with the graduation rate of 1 out of 5 not graduating last May, this is an issue, and I appreciate you coming. But this is a concern that the building principal, I think, has a responsibility to work with parents and students when they're withdrawn and having that conversation. And I understand there's a team, but there's a certain, I mean, that's why we have the building principal, right, with those responsibilities.
Jonathan, I have a question.
Yeah.
Did the site was all this stuff on the phone, was it at school as well? I mean, or was it outside of school?
It was during school hours and in school, like at school, essentially, yeah.
I guess my only concern is 5 months from the beginning to when things were actually, I have a lot of concern with that. So it's a long time to look at that and not feel like you're being heard.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for being part of that. I know you were a vital role, and I know the 5 interns would have been happy to meet with you. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Final speaker, Jennifer Odell.
Here, there, my name is Jennifer Odell, and I have a senior in the high school. And I just have kind of some questions for the board. I guess I never really did get a curriculum for Leader in Me. Does anybody have that data?
Yeah.
Okay, and you can provide us with that? Okay.
In that direction, if you want to leave us your information.
Okay, perfect. So that's Franklin Covey, right? Okay, so we have data that it's working, we have data that we can share. Okay. And then I do have another question. So last month, we had a teacher come up and discuss wanting some answers about special education or special education program on the student ratio. Has anything been discussed about her concerns with the board at all?
Yes, I think there's been some board members that have taken her up on the opportunity to visit her classroom. I know that there's been some additional conversations around selection of staff. And
Okay.
yeah, so
there has been discussions across the
but
board.
likewise, that's been an ongoing process since September when we had a teacher resign.
Correct.
That's the reasons, out of special ed department.
Okay. And then I also have a question on how we choose vendors. How do we choose the vendors that we use for landscaping, let's say carpet cleaning, things like that? Are we bidding on those? Or are we just picking people that we know?
That's a good question, and I would suggest the best way to respond to that would be meet with our facilities director, Mr. Stolpus, and he can share with you the process that we
Okay.
went through for that.
Perfect.
Additionally, Mr. Gear can also sit down and talk about the bidding process. 'Cause
First,
that's-
just, do they bid on everything, like, so landscaping, no matter the price, that's paid?
There's a threshold that's in school code that Mr.
35.
Gear can meet with you on.
Okay, I do know that, I would just pass that, under that threshold, I need to know whether we just pick and choose what vendors we use.
We,
So there's many landscaping companies, right?
sure. And we typically use vendors that we've had some success with in the past, but try to stay local.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
I mean, again, I would
Okay.
encourage you to set up a time to meet with them to discuss your specific questions.
Okay, no problem, I can do that. And then I also wanted to know if there was any discussion back towards the competency. So we're talking about, switching, what is it, next month that you guys are having a meeting about this new competency curriculum and how we're gonna be trying to move away from doing that. And so I don't know, can you tell me more about your meeting with Ms. Hill and this competency program?
Are you, like, I'm not sure that I understand your question. What's your question?
So isn't there a meeting that you and Christy Hill are gonna have with the Board of Education about the way things are done in the curriculum?
Not that I'm aware of. It sounds like she's referencing you, Dr. Larson. Is there something that you're aware of?
I think Christy has talked about, there's one that's going to be coming up.
Right,
She was going to display, I don't remember. what-
discuss
what-
different,
It's not,
So,
not
and
reading. what
yeah, I guess-
was made up or something.
if your question's around curriculum or if it's around competency based, those are
curriculum,
very, very.
really. I mean,
Okay.
curriculum, competency,
Yeah, so curriculum is an annual process in which there's a review process, there's a CCC, a curriculum coordinating committee. Teachers get together, review curriculum, and then they present their recommendations to the CCC. Then the CCC votes upon that, and then that's carried to a presentation to the board to then approve the curriculum moving forward for whichever subject area it is. I believe, is it language arts or science? Social science, social science, so.
okay, that makes it more clear for me. And then I know I'm out of time. I do want to say that we need to hold a little bit of accountability for our actions and how we act in the community. I had a senior come home to me with a post that she seen online. And this senior looked at me and said, how are we supposed to be held to standards of being good citizens and being honest and being true and advocating for that when our own administration doesn't do that? So I just want to remind everybody that we can get along, but stealing political signs, that's not, no matter what the intent may be, it's not okay. It's not acceptable. And we're teaching our kids that this is the way.
Ma'am, thank you.
I'm just saying,
I appreciate that.
and there should be some accountability. Thank you.
Moving on to item 3 on the agenda, the consent agenda requires board action. The consent agenda concludes the following. 3.1, approval of the minutes from the regular board meeting of January 14th. 3.2, payment of bills. That would include the bills for approval. 3.2A, 3.2B, the monthly financial reports by fund. And the 3.2C, budget to actual report. Item 3.3 on the consent agenda is the enrollment report. And item 3.4 is the Freedom of Information report. On the item 3.1A, for the board meeting January 14th, 2024, should that be 25?
It should be 25, yeah.
Okay.
So Kelly, we can amend that to make sure that we can correct that in minutes as well. Thank you.
Good. Okay, Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended? Motion by Erica Weaver, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ashley Overton, discussion by the board?
I just have a couple questions, Ryan. For the middle school dishwasher, since it's 60,000, do we get bids for that? And I could have missed all that.
Yeah, so like Tim referenced earlier, there's different thresholds for different bids. One of the reasons to not go out for bid is in case of emergency. Basically, we would have to shut our food service down. We didn't have a dishwasher, so that was something Dustin came to me, said, you know, he called several vendors, got the best price he could get, and so we needed it in there the next day. So that's, otherwise, we got the bid, it would have been at least 2 hours bid process.
A second question I had, so ISU held a conference, we spent $3,900. I'm gonna know what that conference is, it wasn't stated.
It was, that was Franklin, I believe, that we went, what was that? I think it was Franklin, I think it was paid for with a grant, I believe. Is that right?
I mean, we are going to a conference in March.
I think we've already paid the entry fees in advance.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we paid for those.
but yeah, that's paid through with the PFA grant.
Yes. Okay. Any other questions from board members about the consent agenda? If not, we have a motion, we have a second. Kelly, can you take the roll?
Armstrong? Larson? Yes. Overton? Yes. Weaver?
Yes.
Uphoff?
Yes.
Hedges?
Yes.
Ryder?
Yes. Nothing under item 4. Mr. Geary, you put the night off, well, we'll see. We'll see. And number 5, reports and recommendations of the Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, Dr. Scorsese.
Thank you so much. The board had before them the February personnel report. First, you see Connor Doolin is resigned Matthew High School English teacher effective the end of the 24-25 school year. Move down to certified appointments. We're recommending Samantha Drollinger as Franklin Preschool Special Education teacher effective at the beginning of the 25-26 school year. We're recommending Delaney Kimberlin, William and Riddle Elementary School LDS 1 Special Ed teacher effective for the 25-26 school year. Recommending Angela Thomas as Williams Elementary School LSB 1 Special Ed teacher effective for the 25-26 school year. Recommending Brian Daniels as substitute teacher effective immediately. Recommending Marcy Pruitt as substitute teacher, and Liberty Watson as a substitute teacher as well. In addition, we're recommending certified resignations. Michelle Aubin is resigning as Riddle Elementary School Supervisor effective January 25th, 2025. Karen McLean is resigning as Riddle Elementary School Supervisor effective January 24th, 2025. Bronwyn Corey is resigning Matthew High School Classroom Parapro effective January 27th, 2025. Continuing, we have classified appointments. We're recommending Susan Abbott as Riddle Elementary School Title I Paraprofessional effective immediately. Chase Logan, Matthew High School Parapro effective immediately. Cassie Manafort, Williams Elementary School Supervisor effective immediately. Brenda Price as Riddle Elementary School Supervisor effective February 20th, 2025. Lincoln Scott as Riddle Elementary School Supervisor effective immediately. Christopher Cisniak as Williams Elementary School Supervisor effective immediately. Continuing, yeah, apologize for not so smooth transitions. Michelle Alvin as substitute supervisor effective immediately. Robert Perry as substitute school bus aide effective immediately. Teresa Perry as substitute school bus driver and substitute school bus aide effective immediately. And Julia Smith as substitute custodian effective immediately. From Haley Cordes down to Dustin Thomas, we're recommending as volunteers. Extracurricular resignation. We're recommending Greg Capitosi as resigns Matthew Middle School assistant baseball coach effective immediately. Tarika Morocco is resigning Matthew Middle School 7th grade girls coach, track coach effective immediately. Jessica Meadows is resigning Matthew Middle School 6th grade boys track coach effective immediately. Extracurricular assignments. Recommending Brooke Alexander as youth volleyball coach effective immediately. Recommending Greg Capitosi as Matthew Middle School head baseball coach effective immediately. Recommending Danelle Connor as youth volleyball coach effective immediately. And Danielle Jordan as youth volleyball coach effective immediately. Jessica Meadows as Matthew Middle School 8th grade girls track coach effective immediately. John Moore is Mattoon High School JV assistant softball coach effective immediately. Phoenix Springfield is Mattoon Middle School 7th grade girls track coach effective immediately. Holly Thompson is Mattoon Middle School 6th grade boys track coach effective immediately. In addition to that, we have addendum. Item 5.1A, certified resignations. Isabel Ray resigns Mattoon Middle School 8th grade teacher effective at the end of the 24-25 school year. Dana Getzke is resigning as Riddle Elementary School special ed teacher effective February 6, 2025. Nothing on certified appointments. Classified resignations. Jennifer Decker is resigning as SLIP Little Leaders Daycare Care Professional effective May 28, 2025. Larry Sandrock is resigning as Transportation Service Center LIFT and Franklin Preschool Custodian effective February 21st, 2025. Classified appointments, Taylor Huffman recommended as LIFT Home Visitor effective July 1, 2025. Sandra Story is Williams Elementary School Supervisor effective immediately. Also classified appointments, we're recommending Zach Adams as substitute school bus aide effective immediately. Deborah Elder, substitute school bus aide effective immediately. And then extracurricular resignations, Sarah Matson is resigns Mattoon Middle School National Junior High Society sponsor effective immediately, and there are no extracurricular assignments on the agenda. Are there any questions?
Questions from the board about the report?
Dave?
Yes.
Just for clarification, is it Zoe Adams or Zach Adams?
You're at
Last page.
5.1.
On the, yeah, 5.1B. For certified appointments, substitute school bus aide.
There's like 5.1D on the.
On the,
On the classified appointments on the addendum.
Dave, I think you meant inadvertently said Zach.
It's Zoe.
Is Zoe, okay.
What is that? Sorry if I said Zach. Zoe was on the agenda.
Dave, what is a lift home visitor?
The home visitor is our first to 3 program. They go in and work with parents in the home with their children from prenatal to birth to age 3. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
So with another special ed teacher resigning, obviously, soon to resign, what is the plan? 'Cause
We have a retired special ed teacher that's been approved by TRS to come fill that position in the remainder of the school year. She can work full time.
And what about Ms. Brittany Rader? What's the update? Is there any help for her?
Brittany Rader, they address the caseload with that individual, so she doesn't have a large number of caseload anymore, and also took away some, and working with the administrators, help ease the caseload with the other case managers within the building, and getting some support from wonderful Mattoon Middle School support staff coming down, special ed teachers, and picking up a couple numbers on the caseloads as well. We've been doing that all year, they just even that out a little bit more for the during the planning period.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? See none, I recommend that the board accept the personnel report as presented.
Motion?
Motion.
Motion from Erica Weaver, second.
Sure.
Second from Cheryl Armstrong. Any comment?
Larson,
Yes.
Overton,
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Uphoff,
Yes.
Hedges,
Yes.
Armstrong,
Yes.
Ryder.
Yes. On to item 6 on the agenda, reports and recommendations of the superintendent. Mr. Condra.
Take that.
So this evening is a typical time of year in which we present the upcoming calendar year for the board's recommendation. Some information just to kind of bring folks up to speed. Some board members have seen this information before, but understand some of the requirements that go into building out the school district calendar. In the state of Illinois, those requirements include 176 student attendance days, 180 teacher work days, and that difference being 4 teacher institute days that can be built into the school calendar. So some of the information that we gather, and thank you to parents that complete that registration survey at the beginning of the year, that helps drive some of the discussion with the calendar committee. And so all of that information we hope to capture at the first part of the year, and then review that information when we first met in January. Additionally, we maintain a fall student-led parent-teacher conference that usually falls around the mid-October mark. I think October 16th is when it will be this next year. And then another key piece in the information that we gather is trying to conduct graduation prior to Memorial Day. Just a glance here at the calendar committee members. They make up members from the Mattoon Education Association and the Mattoon Education Support Personnel Association, as well as Board of Education member and administrators. So this is a drum roll for those staff in the room that want to know which calendar actually won. So with 64.6% of the vote, calendar A is the clear winner. And the very, I guess, distinct difference between calendar A and calendar B is calendar A includes a guaranteed spring break, where calendar B was a short, long, I guess it was a long weekend, a shorter spring break. So, and I'll walk through some additional information that goes along with that. This is important too for semester breakdown. As you can see here, it's relatively close, about 2 days difference between first semester and second semester for both student attendance as well as teacher attendance, which get back to those totals that I spoke about on the first slide. So here's the key breakdown. So the Teacher Institute Day to start the year will be only one this year at the start of the school year on August 11th. Then we'll have our first student attendance day on Tuesday, August 12th. This came out of many discussions, and I appreciate the feedback that we've received from NEA as well as MESPA in regards to looking at ways we can distribute those teacher institutes across the calendar year. And I think that will definitely help us in certain areas with staff a little differently than having some of those front loaded at the beginning of the year. So we're excited to see how that works. The last student and teacher attendance day is planned for May 21st, which will be considered an early dismissal, and graduation, as I mentioned before, will be slated before Memorial Day of 26 on May 16th. There is one student-led parent-teacher conference, so we received the feedback that I mentioned at the beginning from parents as well as from staff around, we have typically had two, one in the spring and one in the fall. And the spring one, the data has shown us that it was not well attended. So that doesn't mean that staff and parents can't encourage to have student conferences, and we hope that still continues. But for this next year, those conferences will just be in October, and students will not be in attendance on Friday, October 17th. So that will occur the evening of the 16th, and then for the majority of the day on Friday the 17th. And then the winter break, this seems to be important. It also seems to be important for families to, they return, even if weather's bad, can you please have them come back after winter break? So December 22nd through January 4th, teachers would return for a Teacher Institute on the 5th, and then classes would resume on the 6th. That should state the 26th, January 6th, 25, apologies. And then spring break will be March 28th through April 6th, and students and teachers both will return on April 7th. So here's a look. I know this is a little bit difficult to see. Board members, you have an electronic version of this presentation, so you can blow it up if you need to look more specifically with this, but here's a breakdown, and if the board chooses to approve this evening, we will then post on the district website for families to be able to access probably as quickly as tomorrow. But just a breakdown of what those dates look like for the upcoming school year. So with that would be the recommendation that our administrative team to the board would be to recommend calendar A for the adoption for the 25-26 school year.
Questions from the board for Mr. Conner?
Questions from the board for Mr. Conner? Well, all right. Let's have a motion to approve adopting calendar A for the 25-26 school year. Motion by Ashley Overton, second. Cheryl, thank you. Cheryl Armstrong, any discussion? Okay, Ms. Cole?
Overton? Yes.
Weaver. Uphoff.
Yes.
Hedges.
Yes.
Armstrong. Yes. Larson.
Yes.
Ryder.
Yes. Item 6.2.
Oh, back to me. So I'm excited to share on behalf of the administration that we'd like to recommend for employment Mrs. Stacy Kaiser to join us at Mattoon High School for the 25-26 school year. And I'll just share a little bit about Stacy and what she's accomplished and what she brings and what we're excited to hope to welcome her at Mattoon High School with. So Stacy, we're excited to have you. I'll let you wave to the crowd here. Welcome. As I mentioned, Stacy will serve as an assistant principal at Mattoon High School beginning July 1st. She holds her Bachelor of Music degree from DePaul University with an emphasis in vocal and general music education. We're going to ask you to sing before the end of the night. A master's degree in teaching from Greenville University, a master's degree in educational leadership with principal certification, and an educational specialist degree in superintendency certification from Eastern Illinois University. In addition to her building and district leadership roles currently, she also serves as an Illinois Principal Association mentor to new administrators across the state. Over the course of her educational tenure, she has served students and families in the Hamilton County Unit 10 District, Carlisle Unit 1 District, the Cumberland Unit 77 School District. Most recently, she served at Cumberland Middle School as the principal and athletic director for the past 11 years. Mrs. Kaiser and her husband, Kenny, who's here tonight. Kenny, welcome. Have 4 sons, Wyatt, Sawyer, Grant, and Gavin. In her spare time, she enjoys watching her sons participate in sports, riding ATVs, swimming, reading, and spending time outdoors with her family and 4 dogs. It is my pleasure to recommend Mrs. Kaiser for board action to serve as the next high school assistant principal beginning July 1st.
Okay, questions from the board for Mr. Conrad on the recommendation? Very well. Do I have a motion to appoint Ms. Kaiser as the new Mattoon High School assistant principal?
Yes. I got
Okay, ladies first, Erica Weaver makes the motion, Jake Hopwood makes the second. Any discussion? Kelly?
Weaver.
Yes.
Uphoff.
Yes.
Hedges.
Yes.
Armstrong.
Yes.
Larson.
Yes.
Overton. Yes. Ryder.
Yes.
Thank you. Stacy, I'd like the opportunity, if you'd like to come up and address the board or meet the board, you're welcome to do so. Welcome to the board.
I thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm looking forward to serving the students and community of Mattoon. And, I feel like I've had lots of blessings throughout my tenure in education. And I look forward to this next journey and adventure, as every day is an adventure with students and with staff. And I truly look at it as a true adventure and a blessing. I can't wait to get working with all of you here in this community. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you already. You're done, Mr. Condren. I see no business under the unfinished business nor new business items. The next item is executive session. The board will be retiring into executive session to discuss under the sub headings 10.1 to discuss matters pertaining to student discipline, and 10.2 to discuss matters pertaining to the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. After.
Tim, can I ask you a question about the CTE and what is our obligation for having those dollars in the state? Like, what do we have to do in order to continue to renew the 180,000 for the?
Oh. I think you're specifically asking about Area Career Center funding?
Yeah.
Yeah, so back in October, the the award of the Area Career Center for LIFT was the designation that was provided. So those dollars then flow through the local EFEs, which are the Education for Employment districts or regions throughout the state. So that will flow through our local EFE for our region, and then those dollars will be earmarked for staff to help cover costs of staff for that designated career center. Does that make sense? Or
So it's an annual renewal.
it is. It's like a grant process that the EFE has to write for, and because of our designation, we receive that $700 per student. At least that's the current allocation for the number of students that we would have enrolled.
And then there's like those 3 steps we have, I was looking at it, I don't know enough about it. So there's these 3 steps that we have to fulfill as the host district. Is that right?
You may have to refresh my memory on what 3 steps those were, or we can ask McLean and we can touch
Yeah,
base.
I'll email.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, how do we continue that annual renewal? It's a grant, and there's certain obligations that we have.
So my understanding is as long as we continue to maintain that area career center status, then we will continue to receive those funds. So, but yeah, please shoot us an email. Happy to answer those questions.
Thank you. Sorry,
Okay, going back to item 10, the executive session, I've gone through what the board will be discussing in executive session. When the board comes out of executive session, the only thing that we will do is adjourn. You're welcome to sit around and wait for that and watch that, or if not, then we thank you all for coming. We need a motion, we do need a motion and a second to, an approval of roll call to retire to executive session. Erica Weaver makes the motion to retire to executive session. Cheryl Armstrong seconds. Callie?
Armstrong? Yes. Yes. Yes.